The MGJ Engineering Circuit Rally Championship would make its return to the East Midlands and to Donington Park for the Dukeries Rally, an event steeped in history and one which latterly has found its home here at the circuit. But thankfully no return of that weather we saw at the previous visit this season, when icy fog and snow would catch a number of our crews out. There may have been 3 more rounds to complete this season, but this weekend would potentially be a title decider for Michael Igoe and Will Atkins. A good run here could see them crowned champions before the calendar is complete. But that didn't mean doing anything different to what we've come to expect of their normal MO. Just pushing for victory, as usual, in that Citroën C3 Rally 2. That's exactly what they do, reaching the end of the morning at the top of our leaderboard. It would, however, be a top spot they shared with reigning champions, their closest championship rivals indeed, John Griffiths and Emma Morrison in the Fiesta R5. They'd in fact been leading after the morning's first couple of stages, but that would change on stage 3. A big push from Igoe would mean the two would go into the afternoon stages dead level on times. No advantage either way. This was going to be an exciting afternoon of rallying. Third place at this stage will be Daniel Bird, Nigel Barber alongside. The pair going well in the Fiesta, putting in some strong times to be mixing it with the regulars at the front of our results, looking for that podium position here at Donington Park. And for Paul Moreau and Craig Simkis, it would be fourth. They'd have a bit of a moment in one of the stages this morning, coming into one of the chicanes a little too excited, shall we say, having to take action to avoid the furniture. They'd already taken off the front corner of the car on the previous stage, so it was starting to look pretty second-hand. The Class C fight would keep us entertained this weekend as well. Martin Hodgson and Tony Jones leading the way there. They have a 24-second advantage in that position. By no means comfortable, but it was a good lead to take into the afternoon stages. Chasing them down though, and making sure that it was anything but comfortable, would be the Chevette of Alistair Staples and Neil Jones. They were second in the class for now. That gap perhaps just a bit too much to make up through 3 stages on merit alone. But as we've seen so often this season and in this championship, anything can happen. This weekend sees the return of Ciro Carinanti and Simon Coates in the Porsche Cayman, and they were going well on that return. Third place in the class, only 6 seconds behind the Chevette up ahead. And even closer was the gap behind Carinanti. The escort of Stephen Sawley and Rob Johnson hunting them down 2 seconds further back on the times, with 4th place in the class and 8th place on the overall leaderboard. Indeed, a similar story for the ex-Barry Morris championship-winning Darian of James Garner and Jordan Joins as well. It was Darian weather, especially compared to last time. These two only 2 seconds back from the escort, so all very close after 3 stages. Looking like a good battle was on the cards through the afternoon stages. And rounding out the top 10 would be Chris White and Graham Capper, the pair leading the way in Class D as well with this position at this stage in the rally. And it would be 3rd place in the class for Nigel Greensall and Graham Wild. 8 seconds back on the times after 3 stages and 1 position back overall in 13th in that production spec GT86. In Class B, it would be a good start to the rally for Adam Midgell and Thomas Pidden. They lead the class and sit just outside the overall top 10 in 11th place after climbing up the leaderboard as the morning went on. Second place behind them in the class will be Phil and Kate Burton in the Subaru, surely brimming with confidence after some fantastic performances so far this season. They were a few positions back overall in 14th, but were also moving the right way on the leaderboard at this stage. And for Sam Gendy and Samantha Bartlett in the Evo, it will be 3rd place in the class, still only separated by a handful of seconds in the class and overall times. In Class E, something a little different, and the lead for Ashley Davies and Sam Fordham in the Fiesta Super 1600. They were still looking for a finish though, and they'd be hoping the afternoon would continue the theme. Second in the class behind Davies and Fordham will be Matt Wheeler and Robbie Sandford. 19 seconds back in fact from Davies up ahead, and a couple of positions on the overall results in 20th. And just behind them on the overall leaderboard were Paul O'Neill and Colin Stevens. Another outing for Paul in one of Sheared Motorsports' cars. The former touring car driver having a great time, just 2 seconds back from Wheeler up ahead and enjoying a few skids along the way. In Class F, it will be Andrew and Ian Jordan taking the lead in the Nova. They were lying in 34th place overall and actually will be sharing that overall position, but their class lead was the significant one. It would be a bit of a family affair in the class as well. With the Jordans out in the lead, it would be the Worrells in second. Chris and Tom Worrell not close to the class leaders, but they were holding a good advantage in that position themselves. And third place in the class will be Jonathan and William Bray. The MG pair in 56th overall as well at the halfway point of the rally. So before we head into the afternoon, here's a look at how the top of the leaderboard is shaping up here at Donington Park for the Dukeries Rally. On to the afternoon stages then, and stages which, as promised, have been fast. There'll be some change in Class F, third place now being taken by Brian Marquis and Stuart Delph. That would be the only position that had changed though. Chris and Tom Worrell holding on to their second place throughout the afternoon to take that position to the finish. And with that, of course, no change either for Andrew and Ian Jordan. They take victory in Class F this weekend in 32nd position overall. In Class E, Matt Wheeler and Robbie Sanford would lose a position, slipping down to third place. Still a good result though in 20th overall. And second place now, after a good push and a move the right way on the leaderboard, will be the Lotus pair of Joseph and Daniel Duffy. They take that second place in the class from 17th place overall. But taking victory will be Ashley Davies and Sam Fordham. A welcomed and well-deserved finish for the pair, bringing that JWRC Fiesta out with good effect here at Donington Park. In Class B, we see Stephen Johansson and Harriet Worth rounding out the podium positions by the end of the rally this weekend. Second place going to Sam Gendy and Samantha Bartlett, gaining a position through the afternoon after the loss of the Burtons from that place and indeed from the overall results in the Maple Garage Subaru. But taking victory will be the Evo of Adam Mitchell and Thomas Pidden, a win of just over a minute and finishing just outside the top 10 as well with 11th place. No change in Class D. Nigel Greensall and Graham Wild rounding out the podium positions in the class with third, keeping hold of their 12th place overall as well. Second in the class would see us moving on to the top 10 results overall, and for Andrew Turner and Ross Green, it would be that 10th spot, 23 seconds ahead in the class. And taking the Class D victory will be Chris White and Graham Capper, the Escort pair taking 9th place overall as well with that strong class result. There had been a bit of attrition in the Class C leaderboard by the end of the rally, but there was still a bit of a battle going on. Stephen Sawley and Rob Johnson taking 4th place in the class by the end of the rally in 8th overall. 13 seconds up the road on the results will be James Garner and Jordan Joins, the Darien pair taking 3rd place in Class C, 7th on the overall leaderboard. And no change to the other positions in the class. We see Alistair Stable and Neil Jones holding on to their second spot to the finish. Themselves only 15 seconds ahead of that missile Darien. Second in the class, 6th overall. But taking the class victory with a very formidable performance on that overall leaderboard will be Martin Hodgson and Tony Jones. Proper rally riffraff. A good advantage of 33 seconds by the end of the rally. They also take 5th overall. We move on to 4th place now, and just missing out on a podium position will be Paul Murrow and Craig Simkis. Frustratingly for them, they miss out on that podium position by 10 seconds. And with a 30-second penalty, so close to another podium for the pair this weekend. So on to those podium positions, and it would be 3rd for Daniel Bird and Nigel Barber. An impressive performance, just keeping hold of that position due to the penalty from Murrow, but the finish would be a welcomed one for the Fiesta pair this weekend. So what about that overall lead and that championship fight? Well, for John Griffiths and Emma Morrison, they had done everything that they could possibly do. In fact, all they could do was keep pushing, hoping for misfortune up ahead. By this point, the gap was a little bigger. They end the event in 2nd place. That, of course, meaning that it is victory for Michael Igoe and Will Atkins. just a year on from beginning Igo's rally adventure, switching from GT racing. Not just victory on the rally though, a win in the championship season. They do enough to get themselves onto the top of the championship standings with a now unbeatable score. All but one a maximum score. A well-deserved victory at this rally and a well-deserved title after a fantastic and entertaining battle all season long. So with the Dukeries rally complete, the results at the top look like this. That victory for Igo and Atkins sealing the title for them, meaning they can come to the final 2 rounds of the MGJ Engineering Circuit Rally Championship with the pressure off, just aiming for more rally wins.